can you maybe walk us through a typical day, having worked for that handler that you did in Pennsylvania? What was a day, what was a non-show day like, and what was a show day like? Can you walk us through what that might have looked like?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I actually worked for two. I worked for a family friend who had Norwegian elk hounds. So I did a lot of training with him, and it was a lot of grooming, bathing, blowing them out. With elk hounds, you're constantly grooming them, a lot of conditioning work. And then kind of that last 10-15% is bringing them out, socializing them, getting them ready for the ring. And then kind of typical weekend day, it's not surprising to wake up at 4 or 5 a.m., get all the dogs out, clean out all the cages, refresh their water, make sure everyone's good to go, kind of morning grooming as well. A lot of the times in the morning, you're making your schedule as well. You can kind of be in 5 places at the same time. So making sure you have, hands to have dogs, trade-off dogs. And then the day kind of becomes a blur of running around, making sure you have the right dog, the right leashes. I know that my first weekend, we had like 5 or 6 Italian greyhounds, and like I'm usually pretty good about being like all these dogs look different, but I grabbed the wrong dog and was then sprinting across Canfield to get the right dog. Luckily, I only got kind of yelled at, and it was fine. But you're going to make mistakes, but as long as you're there to learn, they're happy to have you. So you obviously have all of your ring procedures going on throughout the day. And then in the evening, it's the same thing, putting all the dogs out, cleaning out cages, giving them water. I think that's the part that people forget a lot of the times. And growing up with a kennel, but like I did that for free. So that's nothing to me. I'm like, oh, I get paid to do this now. Like, this is fabulous. Like I will vacuum and clean the whole car before you even ask. And a lot of it is anticipating what they need to do, which I didn't start doing it until I was in my 20s, so I think it was a little easier for me. But people are always going to tell you what they need, and it's a lot of just caring for the dogs. I know there's some of my favorite dogs to this day was the ones that I got to work with out there.
Yeah, I remember working for handlers too, and there were just dogs that I fell in love with. And in fact, I had to get a pointer because I worked for a handler and fell in love with a pointer and absolutely had to have one. So it can be a lot of fun working for a handler and all the different dogs you get exposed to, all the different personalities. And I definitely recommend trying to, working with a couple different handlers at the show and just seeing what it's like to just help for an hour. It can be crazy busy. I always say it's like being in an emergency room. That everything needs to come quick, and you got to be on time, and it's crazy, but it's fun.
It is. I didn't say that. It is a blast. I've always loved it.
I always found it to be this big adrenaline rush. It's just there's so much going on, and it's anyway, a lot of fun.